Hey, Watchaholics, Happy New Year. Welcome back. I hope you have an amazing time with your family during the holidays. I know I did. I went to Florida. It was awesome. But, guys, today we are going to be doing the top best shows that I watched in 2022. And now, when I was making this list, I realized that there was like a lot of stuff that I kind of felt like kind of in the middle about. I mean, I watched a lot of TV and I watched a lot of movies last year, and obviously I do wish my list was a little bit fuller because there are a lot of movies that I missed that I really wish I would have seen in 2022, but I'll watch them this year. But where TV-wise, I felt like there was some really, really good stuff, but not like a lot. So I really had to think about how I really wanted to make this list. But before we get into the list, of course, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Now let's get into it. Number 10, ObiWan Kenobi. Now, a lot of people felt like they didn't really love this show. Personally, don't think it was the best Star Wars show ever made. I think the teaser trailer definitely hyped us up a lot. You know, they played the Fates, Battle of the Fates. It just really got all of us hyped, especially all of us like Star Wars nerds people. Like it got us hyped. But then when it actually came down, there were some character flaws in this show. But I have to say, I did really enjoy. I might be one of the few, but I really did enjoy seeing Obi-Wan and Anakin back on the screen together. I loved seeing Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor back. I thought that was wonderful. The scenes that they had together were so good, in my opinion. Of course, remember, these are all my opinions. Everybody has different opinions, and that is okay. But overall, like, I thought the fight scene, especially the last couple of episodes, were really some of my favorite stand down that they had together. It all came down to this, and I think that was done really well. Was the writing the best? Not really. There were some other characters that just weren't fleshed out correctly. Reba. So I don't know. Those were a little bit kind of like ifs, but I can still consider this one of the best shows that I watched. Number 9. And we're going to be getting into some reality TV shows, so don't hate me because I know a lot of people hated my Too Hot to Handle videos being like, I can't believe you watch this crap. Well, guess what? I do. And you know what? I enjoy it, and it's some of the best TV I watched this year. So number 9 goes to Too Hot to Handle. I just watched this season. You can watch all my reactions to this season, which I think was the best season so far of this show. It was the one that had the most depth to the I don't want to say characters, depth to the people on this show. Yeah, people were horny and breaking rules, but I think at the end, a lot of people actually learned a lot of stuff about themselves and had actually become better people for it. So, yeah. And then also, I can't not say that they really, really screwed with these people's minds by making them believe that Mario Lopez was actually was doing a show that they were going to be on. I mean, their reactions were absolutely priceless, and I loved every single episode of this season. So that is why it's on my list. Number 8. Love is Blind season 3 came out this year, and guys, it did not disappoint. It did not. We had lots of fighting. We had lots of surprises at the altar. We had a lot going on in this season, and I liked it all. I was surprised at some of the people that got married, some people that didn't get married. I thought Cole and Zineb storyline, love story, was absolutely nuts, and it brought the best TV ever. So I can't be mad about it. I mean, who will ever forget the fact that Netflix showed us the receipts? I can't believe that Netflix showed us the receipts. They said, oh, Cole said to show the scene. Okay, well, we have it, so let's show it. And the tea was piping. The reunion was also really well done. Cheers. Thank you, Netflix, for a great season of Love is Blind season. Oh, well, of a Love is Blind season, because season 2 was kind of like meh. So season 3, thank you. And that is why it is on this list. Number 7. But we had some awesome love stories this year, and number 7 goes to one of my favorites, Netflix's Never Have I Ever. Guys, I absolutely love this show. It's going on its final season next year, so you best believe that I will be there to watch it. But season 3 was so great. It brought us more just romantic juiciness, and just Devi, like, just really figuring out who she is, where she wants to go to school, and then also growing as a teenager. And I think that this season, like, I mean, I love watching this character just develop in front of our eyes. I think it is just such a great representation of what people are going through in high school. I love to see Davy's relationship with Paxton and Ben, especially her relationship with Paxton, how it's grown, how it's changed in overall over the 3 years. Her realizing, that Ben might be the one, actually might be the one for her. I do want her to end up with Ben. I am a team Ben over here. I know he is an asshole. But I think this season really highlighted more of who Ben is and why he's such an ass. Kind of like Bridgerton. Season 2 really helped us realize why Anthony Bridgerton was such an a-hole in the first season. It all made sense once we watched the second season. So I felt like that's kind of what this show did this season, was that it really showed us more of Ben and why he is the way that he is, and him growing as well. And now, do I think that the show needed a little bit more of Ben and Davy? Yes, because I did feel like by the end it was kind of like, wait, what's going on? I felt like it was a little bit rushed, but overall, a great season.
Number 6.
Another romantic TV show that is definitely up my alley, and it was a brand new show from Amazon Prime, and it is The Summer I Turned Pretty. Great. I also did reactions to that if you want to check them out. Summer I Turned Pretty was actually a beautiful surprise. I've never read the books. I don't know if I'm going to. I feel like it might be a little bit out of my age range, but I don't know. But it just definitely gave me, like, To All the Boys I Loved vibes. It is. Why? Because it's by the same author. I absolutely loved this season. The love triangle, the angst, the who is she gonna pick? Like, it was so much fun to watch. Such surprises. I loved it. I thought it was a great show, and I cannot wait for season 2 because the show ended in a pickle, and I can't wait to see where it goes for season 2. So I hope, I believe in this year that the next season will be out. So I'm really, really excited to see that. Now we're getting into my top 5 of the year. Some of these might surprise you, especially because I know some of these are shows that weren't really received really well by the public for whatever reason.
Number 5.
But number 5 will be going to Rings of Power. Was an absolute delight. Did it suffer from some sort of pacing issues sometimes? Yes. But overall, I still think they did an amazing thing with this show. The cinematography in the show was absolutely breathtaking. It was beautiful. I think episode 6 was it? I think it was episode 6 was one of the best episodes of the whole season. It showed spoilers, by the way, spoilers if you haven't seen Rings of Power. It gave us the creation of Mount Doom. It gave us some beautiful imagery that really, really, like, reminded me of, like, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, like, the powerful moments, great battle scenes, great acting. I think people are just overreacting about the acting in the show, overreacting about the acting, or overreacting about how, like, some people weren't acting real well. I do not believe that at all. I believe everybody who was on this show cared about what they were doing. No one in this show phoned it in, and I think that is it was so apparent to me, at least. I loved seeing the representation across all the characters. I loved seeing a full-on Puerto Rican man, a dark Puerto Rican man playing an elf. I thought that was awesome. I was so happy to see that a Latino, like, up in there representing. I thought that was awesome. I loved the dwarves and the elves relationship, like Durin and Elrond. I loved them. I can't wait to see more about their relationship, because obviously we do know that things are going to go, I don't know necessarily south with them, but there will be a time where, dwarves and elves are there's going to be, I think, some bad blood to come. So we'll see, but I'm really excited to see where season 2 takes us, because a lot of stuff is to come. We found out who Sauron was. It was a nice little surprise. I was surprised. So, but overall, I think this was a great piece of television, and I cannot wait for season 2.
Number 4.
And this was a nice surprise. It was Heartstopper on Netflix. This show really came out of nowhere for me. I did not expect to love this show, to even like it. I had no idea. Guys, it was so beautiful to see two gay teenage boys trying to figure out high school, and then one of them specifically trying to figure out what is going on? Why is he having these feelings towards a boy? And it was put so beautifully. It wasn't like all this like dramatic, like sad stuff. Like sometimes I feel like they're trying to like put down our throats, and sometimes it felt so natural. The actors that portrayed the two leads I thought were wonderfully cast and played these characters beautifully. I enjoyed seeing them. It felt so, like I said, the word natural. I loved that this show didn't seem like someone was trying to put it like throw it in my face like, oh yeah, this is a show about two gay boys. It just felt like I was just watching any sort of relationship, how we're used to seeing a man and woman fall in love, or man and woman in high school, like each other and have those little cute moments where they're like, oh, like he talked to me, oh, I smiled. It was nice to just see it with two guys, and it just seemed completely normal. I also want to highlight the soundtrack of this show. I loved the soundtrack. I really need to get that soundtrack. I thought it was freaking awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited to see what is to come for both of these characters.
Number 3.
We're getting to the best stuff, guys. Number 3, a Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai, guys. Cobra Kai, I think, is on. I think I forget what season that was. I think it was season 5 or 6. I forget which season it was, but guys, this show never disappoints. It really doesn't. And like I've said, I feel like this show just doesn't deserve to be this good. Like, it has no right to be this good. It really doesn't, because a reminder, if you've never seen Cobra Kai or didn't know this about Cobra Kai started off as a YouTube show, and then Netflix picked it up. So the fact that like season 1 was on YouTube, like, what the hell? And now it is one of the most popular watched shows on Netflix. It is absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant and ridiculous, the fact that they take karate so seriously that it is life or death on this show. The villains are always spectacular. I love that they have brought back all these characters from parts 1 through 3, and it's been just like seamless. It doesn't feel like they're just putting them in like to put them in. Like, obviously there is a nostalgic factor why they're doing it, but it seems like it's written so well into the story that it makes sense. It doesn't feel like, oh, of course they're going to bring this character back. And I mean, it's been awesome. The only one that everyone is just waiting for is Hilary Swank. She is the only one who has not made an appearance, and I swear to God, she better make an appearance in one of these upcoming seasons, because she's the last one of all the karate, like the big cameos, that is missing. So everyone's like been like saying like, okay, is she coming this season? Is she coming this season? So I hope that in the next, I don't know how many seasons left there are. Now I do think the show has been going on for a while. Like, how much longer could they possibly go with the storyline? So many of the characters have already developed, have had their character development, where there's really nowhere for them to go at this point. There's maybe a couple villains that need to like figure out if they're a villain or they're not a villain. But other than that, I think most of the characters on the show have actually peaked. So I don't think the show can go on for that much longer, which is sad, because I love Cobra Kai, and that is why it is on this list.
Number 2.
Guys, if you don't know this about me at all, but you haven't been on my channel, but number 2 goes to Bridgerton. Bridgerton is number 2. I'm surprised it's not number 1, honestly. It's so close to being a 1. It could actually fluctuate, honestly. 2 and 1 can fluctuate for me. But Bridgerton, to me, season 2 was some of the best TV I saw all year, hands down, without a doubt. I mean, Bridgerton season 1 was a great season and I really loved it, but it is nothing to me compared to season 2. It brought us the amazingness that is Jonathan Bailey and Simone Ashley as our leads, Anthony Bridgerton and Kate Sharma. Like, they were just enemies to lovers, the best trope there is, in my opinion. Nothing beats enemies to lovers. Friends to lovers, which I believe will be the next season, I'm good with that. But I really think the enemies to lovers is really where it's at, because it's the angst. It's the like, I can't stand you. But then when you're around them, you're like, but why am I so attracted to you? Why do I want to be with you? Why do I want to kiss you? But you can't stand them. And I think that this season just put it all in a nice little box and a little bow and delivered it to us. And it's absolutely amazing. The best chemistry I've ever seen some of the best chemistry. I mean, they are top there with characters that I've seen that have the best chemistry on screen. Jonathan Bailey, I am still upset that he was not nominated for an Emmy. He definitely should have been, because the guy from the first season, what's his name? John, I forget his name. That guy who everyone loved, the Duke. I liked him, but I wasn't on that train. I hate to say it, I was not on that train. I think Jonathan Bailey was a much better actor than him, and the fact that he was not nominated for an Emmy, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. But regardless, it is what it is. But Bridgerton season 2 was fantastic.
Number 1.
My number one favorite show of 2022 was, and this is a big surprise. This show was a big surprise to me. I even did a teaser. I did a reaction to the teaser trailer of it, being like, I don't know, do we need this? I was taken aback, and it was Andor. Andor was the best show I watched last year. If you have not watched Andor, I highly recommend you do. I actually did have a podcast episode. I do have a podcast. If you didn't know, by the way, plugging myself in, I do have a podcast. It's called the Watchaholic podcast, and you can find it Apple and Spotify. But yeah, I did a full-on review there for Andor. But Andor was a fantastic surprise. Oh my God, a gripping show. Every single episode just kept me in. It was so much talking that was political, that was driving these characters forward. The writing on the show was absolutely fantastic. It was some of the best TV, best Disney Plus show, best Star Wars show we have had. Now Mandalorian season 1 obviously is a highlight as well. We cannot forget Mandalorian, but I think this show might be a little bit better than Mandalorian, especially because season 2, it was good, but they are again doing this whole thing where they have to connect everything to the Skywalkers, and I just don't think it's necessary anymore. Like, we've moved on. That chapter is freaking closed. Like, let's just close it. Let's focus on other characters, focus on other things that aren't directly connected. Like, oh, we have to bring in Luke, we have to bring in Leia. Like, why? This show proved that you did not need to connect it to anything else for it to be absolutely fantastic TV. Oh my God, the acting, the writing, the action, uh the actors that were in this, that were all superb. Oh my God, high quality acting in this show. It is high quality, guys, high quality. And people were hating. I don't know why. I really have no idea why people were hating on this show. I think people just like things that are done really quickly, which I think is why Rings of Power was also one that people didn't really gravitate to, because it was kind of slow. But guys, sometimes you need things to be slow. You need there to be talking for you to really understand who these characters are, what their motivations are, so that by the end, or at least in a couple of episodes, you feel some sort of connection to them. If you're rushing through the story, if you're rushing through these characters and just introducing one, two, three, okay, this is the characters, this is how we got together, this is where we're going, then you're not really going to care. And I can say that about a lot of shows that I've recently watched. Please watch my Willow reaction. I watched Willow. I take that back. I didn't watch the whole thing because I just couldn't take it, because the writing was so bad. Because why? Because it's so much rushing of the story, rushing of the writing, bad character development. Didn't give two craps about these characters. So why should I even watch? Sorry, I was just passionate about that. So yeah, Andor was fantastic, and it is the best show of 2022. So, Watchaholics, tell me, what was your favorite show of 2022? Do you agree with my list? Do you think I missed something? Let me know in a comment below. Yeah, like I said, I watched a lot of TV this year, and a lot of it was kind of mediocre. But don't you worry, because I will be having a list of the worst TV and movies that I watched coming soon on the channel this week. So please watch out for that. But until next time, guys, thank you for being here, of course. And like I said, if you're new here and you aren't subscribed, please, I highly recommend that you do. And of course, give me a like, and I will see you in the next video.